All right, let's actually do a little practice question. Right, let's just do one together. Determine the number of protons, neutrons, and electrons of nickel 58. Right, and also in nickel 60 plus 2 cations, right? So there's a part A, right? A part A right over here, and there's a part B. Let's just do part A first. Quick thing before you pause the video is that you will be given a periodic table, right? Nickel on the periodic table is abbreviated as Ni, and 58 means the atomic mass, right? So pause the video, take a stab at this, and we'll continue. All right, so if we go, you have to first go to the periodic table. Let's look at nickel. All right, nickel's right over here. Everyone see that? All right, so the first thing we need to say to ourselves is, how many protons do we have? Well, that's easy. That's the atomic number. That's 28, right? And how many, let's look carefully at the atomic mass, which is 58. I'm just going to round down, keep it really simple, to 58. Right? So there's 28 protons, and there are 58 as the atomic mass. Right? So let's go over here. Protons, 28. Right? And the atomic mass is 58, right? So the neutrons is equal to, here's a quick thing, 58 is equal to 28 plus the number of neutrons, right? Because we said atomic mass is equal to protons plus neutrons. So neutrons is equal to 30. Now you can just say 58 minus the number of protons if you want. I'm just doing it really in a rudimentary way, so you can see how I arrived at the answer. But you can probably do it in your head if you're pretty smooth about it, right? So nickel has, let's just summarize, nickel has 28 protons, 30 neutrons, and since it is indeed neutral, right, since I told you assume neutrality if it's on from the periodic table, right? If I just say nickel 58 without putting any charge to it, which is what we did right here. I didn't tell you I didn't put any type of charge here, right? Like that. You can assume that it is neutral. So the protons is equal to the electrons. So the electrons, oops, let me use the right notation, is also equal to 28. Right? Not too bad. All right. Let's look at part B. Nickel 60 positive 2 cation, right? So we know since it's nickel, we don't even have to go back up to the periodic table, right? We saw before that nickel has 28 protons. That's not going to change. We know now the atomic mass is 60, right? So mass, atomic, always write out what you have. Atomic mass is equal to 60 AMUs, atomic mass units. So the neutrons is equal to what? Well, remember atomic mass is equal to protons plus neutrons, right? So it's 60 is equal to 28 plus n. So So neutrons, there are 32 neutrons. That makes sense? Okay, now here's the kicker. It's a +2 cation, right? How are we going to tackle that? So far we know that there are 28 protons, 32 neutrons. How many electrons? Well, there's a net charge of 2 cations, right? So there's 2 more protons. You can also think of it as this element has 2 extra protons, right? So what can you do off the bat, right? You can, if you want to do it systematically, you can say 28 protons, right? Minus how many electrons? Or you can actually just say plus electrons is equal, it's got to be +2, right? So for that to occur, you must only have 26 electrons, right? So to summarize, this cation, right, has this cation for part B has 28 protons, 32 neutrons, and 26 electrons.